Yeah, good. Oh, God.
So yeah, so it's for healthcare practitioners, and so it's just called the postgraduate certificate in Ayurveda for healthcare.
It might not be what we want to
We
listen
just
to.
finished that course last weekend. Actually, we had our exams all last week. Myself and Ailish were in Slovenia. Unfortunately, Sandra couldn't go because she got COVID. I mean, she had done the whole course and she obviously would have got through it as well, but she caught COVID, so she couldn't go. So she's going to have to go and do her exams possibly in April, you know. So we just wanted to come on and just maybe if anybody's interested in doing this course, we just wanted to come on and do a little chat about it and answer some questions on if anybody had any questions or if anybody was interested in doing it. So I'm going to unmute Ailish.
Needs to be.
Ailish, can you speak?
Hold that then.
You should be unmuted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
No, oh, hang on a second. Hang on. I have my speaker. Now, say something, Ailish.
Hi, Noel. How are you?
How you do? Great. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Not too bad.
Yeah. So, Ailish, if you just, let's see, I might give Sandra a little text. Maybe she's forgotten about it, you know. But
yeah.
She is there. Hang on a second.
No, just for housekeeping. I think somebody's got their mic. Maybe it's fixed now. Somebody was cutting across when you were speaking there. I think they just.
Okay, I'm going to mute all and then I'm going to unmute you, Ailish, okay? I'm going to mute all and then I'm going to unmute you again. Except the only problem is now you've disappeared off my screen. For some reason. That's strange. Oh no, there you are there. Okay, so you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're unmuted now.
Okay?
Sorry, my speaker was actually switched off. Actually, there's more people joining in now, so maybe we'll just wait a minute or two.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you the certificates that we got anyway. Ailish, I can't really see the screen, so you can tell me if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's not very clear. We can just make out, but it's just seeing one page with your name on it, Noel. But there's the other one is actually quite nice. The Maharishi one, the actual.
Yeah, the Maharishi one is beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, we ended up with two. We ended up with two certificates. We got one from the. I'll just read it out. It's from the Maharishi College of Perfect Health International, and so it just says has attended and successfully completed the 900-hour program. Postgraduate certificate in Ayurveda for health professionals at the Alma Mater University, Maribor, Slovenia, from the 13th of April 21 to the 20th of March 2022. And that's signed by Dr. Rana Picha, who is the chairman of Maharishi Ayurveda College of Perfect Health, and also by Walter Monk, who is the director of the Maharishi College of Perfect Health. And then the other certificate we got is from the university themselves. So that's from the Alma Mater Europea, which is in Slovenia, in Maribor, which is where we went to. And that just says, this is the certified at Noel O'Neill. He even gives my date of birth, the 25th of the 12th, 1960, has completed the postgraduate certificate in Ayurveda for health professionals. And that's signed by the president of that university. So we got two certificates for the price of one. So Ailish, actually, maybe, I don't see Sandra on here. I might just, I might just go onto my other computer and just email Sandra.
Yeah, sure.
If you would just like to maybe give a little introduction of yourself. Ailish is from Glenmire in Cork, but if you'd just like to give your background, Ailish, because this was for healthcare professionals, so you have to have qualifications in the healthcare thing. If you just like to give your background and then just give a little summary of the what you felt the course was and what you got from it and the structure of it and all that, and then I'll do the same, and maybe Sandra can do the same if she comes on, and then we'll just take questions and answers from people.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, can you hear me okay, Noel?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, no problem.
So I'll just begin by correcting you. I'm not from Glenmire, I'm from Glanworth.
Oh, Glanworth, sorry.
Very small village in North Cork, between Fermoy and Mitchelstown. As Noel said, the course was for healthcare professionals, and I'm a pharmacist. That's my trade, and I've been working in pharmacy since I left college 20 years ago. Coming up for 20 years now. And I have, I suppose, developed an interest in Ayurveda in the last few years. I've worked in, I suppose, allopathic medicine for a long time, and maybe I'm becoming a little bit disillusioned with it. So I was looking for something else, and Ayurveda seems to tick all the boxes for me. And I saw a mailer last March from Noel telling us about the course, and I was like, goodness, that course would be interesting to do. And I started the course, and little did I know what lay ahead of me, but I've never done a course that I've enjoyed as much as this course. And I suppose what I'm referring to there is this course, while you learn lots and there's lots of theory, it is a very hands-on practical application of Ayurveda. And this for me is the biggest selling point of this course. Right from the start, you're speaking to patients, you're doing case studies, and you're providing the advice and the Ayurvedic lifestyle advice to patients, and you're getting to know the Ayurvedic herbs and prescribing those. So that for me is the best part of this course, is that it's so hands-on, and it's the practical application of the knowledge. It's not just totally theory based. Like, you do cover the theory, and it's very in-depth, and you get a good foundation knowledge, but it's the applying of that is where the real learning comes, and it is just the wonderful for that aspect of it. The course is led by Gordana Markovic. She's an MD, but she's also a PhD, and she's very devoted to Maharishi Ayurveda. And I suppose for me, she's just an amazing teacher, and she puts you in those situations where sometimes you're uncomfortable, where you have to, deal with patients, and maybe you're in a topic that you're only new to and you're learning it. But I really feel the learning just happens so much more easily when you're using your practical skills. Structure of the course, as Noel's mentioned, it's a 12-month course. It's a year long. It's made up of 3 block sets where you're in person. I think they're maybe doing a little bit online, but mainly you'll be in person in Maribor for roughly a week each time. And then there's also, sorry, just my laptop isn't charging. There's also webinars every second week for about 2 hours every Saturday evening. And then you also need to do interview people that are around you that you can do case studies on, and you can present those in class. That's kind of the course in a nutshell. Huge learnings, amazing learnings, and you meet some wonderful people. It's for me, we had the learning with the patients, and we had the learning with the theory, but I also learned so much from all the people I met in the course. It's just changed my life, to be honest, the course. I really can't speak highly enough of it. So that's kind of my summary of it. No, I don't know if there's anything. You've probably plenty.
That's perfect. That's perfect, Ailish. Yeah, no, it was a fantastic course, and there was fantastic people on it as well. I mean, there was quite a good few medical doctors to took the course, and people with various different degrees of training, with medical training. But it was fantastic. Now, unfortunately, what happened with COVID with us is that we were meant to go to Slovenia on 3 different occasions for the block sets, but then they were all cancelled because of travel restrictions and things like that. So we ended up doing it online on Zoom. And to be honest, I personally found that a bit much, and the only really time I got to go to Slovenia itself was last week. And I felt you learned an awful lot more when you were there in person with teachers and with the people in the classroom, especially doing the pulse diagnosis. I mean, I really came on, I doubts about my own ability to do the pulse diagnosis, but I really came on leaps and bounds when you were with Gordana and she was showing it to you, and you were doing pulses on other people and all of that. I think you picked up a lot. So I would say, if you're interested in doing this course, that rather than doing it online, there may be an option to do it online. There may not be an option. The online thing only came about because of COVID, but I would say to get the most out of it, best to go to Maribor for the courses. Now, it's quite easy to get to Maribor. You can fly into Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia. What I did was I flew to Zagreb, and then I just got a bus. There's a very simple bus. So it's only an hour and a half, and it costs €9. So it's not expensive. And actually, Slovenia is absolutely beautiful. And I rented an apartment for the week. A beautiful apartment with my own kitchen and everything, so that I could cook and everything. And it was about I think it was about €350. So it's not particularly expensive either. But I would encourage people, if you're thinking of doing it and applying for it, is to actually go on the course and do it, because I think you'll gain an awful lot from it. Now, the reason I got on it, obviously, Ailish has, she's a pharmacy background. My background was, one, I'm a TM teacher. But the other thing was, I studied Ayurveda. I did a diploma in Ayurveda in Rishikesh in India in 2016. And because I had done that and successfully passed that, I was eligible to go on that particular course. And there was different people. Can you remember, Ailey, some of the backgrounds? I mean, there was
Yeah.
people that were into alternative therapies as well. That,
Yeah, there was a naturopathic doctor from South Africa. There was a medical doctor from South Africa and a naturopathic doctor from South Africa, a geriatrician, clinical dietitian. There was somebody who was actually from ecology, was her background, Yadranka. There was somebody working in HR, but she'd done Ayurvedic studies, like, you know, so she like didn't come from a medical background. So I wouldn't let that be a barrier. I mean, if you've done other studies, they will definitely take those into consideration. If your background, if your say primary role is isn't a healthcare professional role, but you have done studies in Ayurveda, I think they'll take that into consideration.
yeah, absolutely. You know, people have asked me, you know, what do I need to, you know, it's not our course. It's run by the Alma Mater. It's run by Maharishi International University. I think Gordana probably has the final say. So if you're in doubt, if you've done something, no matter what it is, maybe it's Reiki or maybe it's something like that, and you're thinking, okay, I wonder, is that enough for me to get on it? We can't answer that question. So the best way to get that question answered is to apply to go on the course, and then you'll either be rejected or accepted. And so if you're uncertain, but if you do have any type of a mainstream medical training, like a nurse or a doctor or anything like that, there'll definitely be no barrier to you going on the course. And it was fantastic for me to see so many doctors on it, and so many doctors that were willing to embrace it and bring it into their practice. And it was just like Gordana herself is a medical doctor, a practicing medical doctor, you know. So it was just great to see that. And it's very, very practical. Very practical. I mean, you're hands-on. The idea at the end of this course is that you can see patients, that you can have patients. And that's what Gordana wants. That's what they
Absolutely.
want. It's not just it is for self-knowledge, and self-knowledge is always good, but really this is not the course to do just for self-knowledge. This is a course to do for people who want to put this into practice, you know. She was very clear about that they want people using this knowledge and putting it into practice. And, you know, you are given all the tools to deal with the different cases and different things that'll come your way. You know?
I would just chime in there, Noel, and just say that at the end of the course, even if you didn't have the intention of doing it, you actually want to do it, because the knowledge, you're so enlightened by the knowledge, you want to share it, just to spread it. And that for me, because I suppose I set out not really intending to practice, whereas now I've done a complete 360, and it's where my focus is, because the course just empowered me so much.
Yeah, and it's exactly what the world needs at this moment. You know, we really need thousands of people doing these courses in Ayurveda, because, you know, like really every town and village in the country should have an Ayurvedic. People should have the option. They should be aware of the option that there are, you know, alternative ways of looking at disease and alternative ways of doing things. And really, it's only when you start delving into Ayurveda, like I know a lot of you have probably done our 7-lesson course, and a lot of you come on the Q&As that we do with the doctors. And, you know, the thing that amazes me is there's never a question that isn't answered. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's to do with the liver, the eyes, the kidney, or whatever. There are people asking questions about diseases that I've never even heard of, but the Ayurvedic Vaidya's and Dr. Brennan, straight away, they know exactly what they're talking about, and they know exactly what the Ayurvedic approach to it is. And like, you can give people, you know, tremendous help. I mean, it always, you know, for us, it's not a matter of someone coming in with a problem and then you say, oh, well, take this, take triphala, take this, take that. That's very much a secondary thing, taking herbs. The primary thing is your lifestyle, and, you know, the importance of your lifestyle. And that's what you learn in this course. Like, why go to bed early? Like, you know, what are the advantages of doing that? Why eat your main meal in the middle of the day? Why get up early? Why scrape your tongue in the morning? Why do an annual detox? And the power that these things bring. And in actual fact, you know, as Gordana explained to us, if they don't get the lifestyle right, the herbs aren't going to work anyway. They may have some short-term thing, but, you know, so really it's about living your life in tune with nature, and then you can use all the intelligence from the plants and all of those things to enhance that. But you have to get the basics right, and all of that is thought into it in great depth. So, you know, even if you're someone that comes into you, I suppose that, you know, that has something that's, you know, pretty serious, you're still going to be able to give them you're not going to be telling anybody to stop their allopathic medicine, you know, but you're still going to be able to give them lifestyle advice and things like that will help them on their path, you know. So, sorry, Alice,
another
go ahead.
point. Yeah, no, there's another point just to add in, because like I obviously agree with what you're saying. This about lifestyle medicine, but also The distinguishing feature about this course is it's Maharishi Ayurveda. So it's not just Ayurveda, it's consciousness-based medicine. And I think that is the critical part. And you learn, as Noel mentioned, the pulse diagnosis, and healing occurs once that pulse is taken. That's when the healing process begins. You know, I'm sorry, I just see a message going up there. There was a psychiatrist on the course, just approaching retiring. So I don't.
No, you go ahead, Ailish. We'll deal with the message. We'll deal with the chats in a minute. If anyone has any questions, put them into the chat. You deal with them separately, Ailish. You just put your.
Yeah. Okay. So I suppose my point is that I suppose I came to Ayurveda through transcendental meditation, and I didn't really realize, I suppose, the difference between Ayurveda and Maharishi Ayurveda when I started the course. But you know, very early on, it became evident how important the consciousness-based medicine part of it is, because, and we saw it in case study upon case study. You know, we would take the pulse, or you know, particularly Gordana was very skilled at taking the pulse, and the healing would begin. You could see it before your eyes of the person's. It's like their heart would melt, and whatever emotion that was holding them back would come out. You know, it's incredible. You know, and I suppose coming from such a, like, the allopathic medicine, and you know, there's protocols, and we followed this step 1, 2, 3. You know, this just, it was just for me incredible. I really it was a wonderful experience to see it. You know, so I think you probably agreed all that, Noel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, one of the other things is that one of the requirements of doing the course is that you're a practitioner of transcendental meditation. Now, I think some of the people, when they signed up initially for the course, were not practitioners of transcendental meditation, but they had the opportunity to learn as they went along. And, you know, the common thing from everybody was how powerful they found the transcendental meditation, because it is consciousness based. It recognizes that consciousness is the basis of everything. And then the most powerful way to enliven that consciousness is within yourself. It's through the practice of meditation, morning and evening. So it is a requirement of doing the course that you practice transcendental meditation. But you know, it brings such benefit to your life anyway that it's just a wonderful thing to do. And then, as Ailey said, it's when you take that pulse, your consciousness, your awareness is connected with that person's awareness, and that's exactly when the healing starts. Even in that, but there's a great depth of knowledge, skill that you can learn to get from that pulse. Plus, also lots of other things from, you know, people that did our Ayurveda course. You all know the difference between Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and you can probably tell the difference between a Vata person and a Pitta person. And you know, what are the Pitta diseases, the heating ones, like, you know, acid reflux or skin problems, they're associated with Pitta, whereas things like anxiety and insomnia and overactive mind are associated with Vata. So you can pick all that up. You pick it up in the pulse. You also pick it up just by looking at the person and talking to the person. And then you have all these different protocols that are given of how to redress, how to bring that kapha back into balance. And when you bring it back into balance, like, you're not actually treating the disease. That's the funny thing. You're treating the person. You're not treating the disease. It's much more a heart-based system of medicine in a way, you know. You're not actually treating the disease. You're treating the person. And the disease is symptomatic of an imbalance in that person. So rather than giving the person a tablet to suppress the symptoms, you're actually saying, well, what imbalance is causing this to happen? And why have you got that imbalance? What are you doing that's causing this imbalance to be there? Are you eating the wrong foods? Are you eating your meals when you're looking at TV? Are you, you know, in a very negative relationship that you need to do something about it? Are you working too much? Are you not getting enough rest? Are you not getting enough sleep? And, you know, because when you have an understanding of Vata, Pitta, Kapha, you realize the lifestyle and the diet that will put Vata, Pitta, Kapha out of balance. So the amazing thing is that as you go on with this, you get to, you know, as you get to know more about Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the patient will walk into the room, and even before they sat down in the chair, it's probably a fair idea of what they're going to be, their complaint is going to be, because everything about them, the way they move, the way they speak, you know, their eye movements, whether they engage with you or not, all of those things are telling you whether this person has, you know, an excess of Vata, an excess of Pitta, or an excess of Kapha. And then, you know, you can then start to redress those things. So, okay, so what we'll do, I don't see Sandra, she may have got caught up. So what we'll do is, I've sent you the link. I'm just going to share my screen again. And I'm going to bring you, so this is the address the Alma Mater. I've sent that link. I'll put it in the chat box again, okay? But if you go to the website, if you just even Google Alma Mater Slovenia, this will come up. And when you go to programs here, you pick on postgraduate certificate in Ayurveda for healthcare professionals. Okay. Now I told everybody about this course quite a while back, so people were aware of it, but it is starting very, very soon. It starts, the starting date is the 2nd of April, but you can apply up to the 31st of March. And all the details on the course are here. The structure of the course, all the different things, when you'll have to go there for the block sets, all about the you have a webinar every second week that you have to do. So all of the different things are in there. You just have to scroll through this website to find out. There's some testimonials from some of the people. I didn't even know. There's Eilish there. He's up there. So and Darlene was from the Lebanon, and Jadranka was from Croatia. So seeing all my colleagues there. So you can get a lot of information and you can apply to do the course there. Now the idea is that that course is going to be run every year. This year was the first year, and it was, I considered it to be a really, really good success. But obviously we want more and more people to, I'm going to stop the share now. We want more and more people to join in with it. So, I mean, if you can't do it this year, you can think about if it's something that you'd like to do, maybe build a career in Ayurveda, you can think about doing it next year. The other thing that I asked Gordana was, we're planning on putting together a more advanced Ayurveda course with Dr. Brennan and Vaidya Rajvinder and Vaidya Nahid and Vaidya Patel. And I was asking her, listen, if people do our more advanced course, would that make them eligible to do this course? Would that be enough of? And she said yes. So we will be launching new courses soon that we're going to keep you informed about. So if you have no healthcare professional background at all, but you'd like to maybe pursue or look at from either from a point of self-knowledge or from a point of maybe building a career for yourself in Ayurveda, then you could do our course. And then once you've done our course, you can go on and you can apply to do this course then. And, you know, people might say, well, why would I do two courses? I can tell you, you could study Ayurveda for the rest of your life. You could study, and I've often said it to Dr. Brennan, like Dr. Brennan is probably, like you all know him, he's a medical doctor, and he's probably one of the most experienced Western trained Ayurvedic doctors in the world. But like the learning doesn't stop, it just doesn't stop, it just continues into the field of knowledge, and it's self-exploration as well as learning things, you know, in how to treat people as well. So maybe what we'll do is, if anyone has any questions, we're not going to stay on too long. I just said come on and do I come on and we just do a little chat about it, just to encourage anybody that feels that it is something that they'd like to do. So let me just read Elena's. I'm a psychiatrist, but I've recently, sorry, hang on, shut that down. I'm a psychiatrist, but I've recently retired. I would like to do the course. The problem I see is I don't see patients anymore. Is it acceptable for a course to practice with family members or friends? Absolutely, Elena, that's no problem. I don't know, was Bernadette van der Hout, is Bernadette a psychiatrist? I know she's a doctor, but was she a psychiatrist?
Yeah, she was working in child psychiatry. She was just retiring now. You know, this was in April, she's starting her retirement. But like, I suppose I'm working in a pharmacy, but I didn't use patients from the pharmacy as part of my consults because I wouldn't have the time of the day to do the consult with them. So I was using family members, friends of friends, cousins, anyone who wanted to come was coming. So it wasn't necessarily my workplace that I was practicing in it. And sometimes it's not appropriate in your workplace, you know, and you're so busy, you're under so much pressure, you know, that you don't have time. So it's absolutely fine to use family members.
You can use, I did the same, you know, because we were in COVID and I was looking after my parents at the time, so I didn't want to be really meeting too many people. So I did, you know, actually I used to do pulse diagnosis on my mother and other members of the family. It would be better if you can do it on a broader range of people, but you know, and Elena, then, you know, the idea would be if you did that course and you wanted to set up a private practice for yourself, and you know, you can do as little or as much as you want, you know. So that, and even if you were thinking, well, I don't want to even go practice, well, then it would just be a thing of self-knowledge. And it is great self-knowledge as well. It is fantastic knowledge, but I suppose it's great if you have that knowledge to be able to put it into use, you know. So, but absolutely, to answer your question anyway, you can do all of that on family members and friends, you know. So Renan says your voice is fading. Well, I've never been accused of that before, that's for sure. But anyway, I hope you can all hear me now. And Martin is on as well. So Martin is from Maharishi Ayurveda, and he just said other options to see all the details are they're on the Maharishi International Foundation website there. So you can see that there as well. So if you want to copy and paste that link, you can copy and paste that, and you'll get more details on the.
Noel, just another point I might just raise. I suppose with all these courses, there's a cost involved. This one is not prohibitive. If it's like, you know, compared to like if you look at masters or diplomas or certs in Irish colleges, you know, it's very reasonably priced, and they're very flexible about installment paying. I know I've made it rather than doing, you know, quarterly payments or something. I spread my payments out over the year. It made it much more affordable for me to do it that way. And if you are going to Maribor, say no head to the Airbnb, or I stayed in the hotel, the college were very good to give us a discounted rates on the rooms, and we bought our lunch out most days. I know because I was in a hotel. So the average cost was about €8 to €9 for a really nice Ayurvedic lunch, like warm, hot food, you know, like a really filling food. I'm about right there, no, aren't they, for prices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I cooked a lot myself because I had the apartment, but I did eat out on a good few days as well. Yeah, you get a nice lunch for about €9, and you get a hotel room for about €50. You get an apartment for a little bit less than that per day, and the university is in the center of the town, so you can just walk to the university. Beautiful, beautiful surroundings, beautiful river. The weather was absolutely great. Like it wasn't, sun was shining every day. It was about maybe 17 or 18 degrees. A very, very nice place. Very nice place.
And there's a feeling there that the people are really connected to nature, to the land or something. It's very, I don't know how to describe, like.
The people all speak English. I don't think I met a single person there that wasn't able to understand what I was saying and answer me back in English. There's a big mountain beside it and a big kind of a nature reserve, and they're incredibly friendly people, incredibly nice people. And it's just a whole very, very nice experience. The whole thing is very nice experience, you know. So I know it's a bit late. I know it starts on the 2nd of April. I had sent out an email about it before, but possibly I should have done the webinar sooner. But I just got very inspired after coming back from the course, and I told Gordana I'd do a little webinar, and maybe one or two of you might be interested in doing it, you know. So if anyone has any other questions, okay, I don't think there are any other questions. No. So I will get back to you soon about the courses that we're going to be offering. I'm meeting with Dr. Brennan and some of the other advisors. We're going to be discussing what we're going to be offering, and I'll be back to you soon about that. I think we'll have a lot more people on that. Someone has a raised hand, but we don't do that. So there's no, I don't even know who it is. So the thing to do is just put your question into the chat box is the thing to do. Oh, there is one new message. So let's see what that is. Okay, would be interested in the advanced course. Okay, Claire, yeah, we'll give details about that. And any of you that want to do an online course at the moment, we have a 7-lesson course on the website. It's the one that Ailish did to start off with, and the one that Sandra did, and the one that Bernadette did, and the one that Megan did. So there was quite a good few people on the course that started off doing that course first, and that kind of inspired them. It's a really brilliant 7-lesson online introduction. It's on our website. I'm sure most of you have already done it. You've probably done it a good few times. How long is the final exam? Is it just one exam? Exams took place on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it was a mixture of, and there was continual assessment as well, and there was a presentation. I have to say, it's a long time since I did an exam. I think maybe the last exam I did was when I was 21, when I graduated from science, you know. Wasn't really looking too forward to doing exams, but I found the whole thing, like it's more a continual assessment thing, really. Gordana can tell where you are, and the exam, yeah, it focused your mind for sure, but I didn't find it overly stressful. I don't know how you felt it.
No, it wasn't, and it's not designed to trick you out. It wants they want to showcase your knowledge. So no, this is not something I'd be put me off. And they use different methods. Like, so we did a presentation, we'd had case studies, and then Gordana asked us questions as part of an oral exam. But there's no, it's not. They want, people want you to succeed. It's not something to be afraid of.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that. Now, if you're, I mean, it is a university certificate, so it is to be taken seriously. And there was one girl that, for one reason or another, was not able to participate, and like it was basically she was advised to continue her studies next year, you know. So I mean, I'm saying it wasn't that stressful, but at the same time, they're not going to, you know, you're not going to get their certificate unless they feel that you're up to doing the thing, you know. But they are continually assessing you. But I think it's done in a very nice way. I think if you're practicing transcendental meditation anyway, you'll be more at ease about all those things. And it's you know, it's just a great course. It's really, really well worth doing. So Jean says, just to say thank you to both for this and congratulations on completing the course successfully. So thanks very much, Jean. So I think we're going to leave it at that. I just wanted to say, we just wanted to do a very quick call on it. I'll send this video out tomorrow. There may be people that are interested that weren't able to come on tonight. Just to say thank you, Martin, for coming on and giving us that web address as well. We will have a live Q&A with our doctors next week. We have our brain health webinar on the 29th, which I think is next Tuesday. But anyway, the 29th, we have a replay of our brain health webinar. We will have a live Q&A with the doctors, with the 4 Viges next week. And we will have more details on our own course offers that's coming up. So even if you feel, well, it's too soon or I don't have the qualifications to do this, the idea is that this course will run every year. And I would personally like to see it building up bigger and bigger numbers every year, because we really, really need this knowledge. And when you do this course and you see the things and the way that Ayurveda can treat things, and, you know, with very few side effects, negative side effects, and, you know, just simple, intelligent things that people can do to improve their health. The world absolutely needs this knowledge, but not only does it need it, it wants it. And I see a huge change coming up in the next 10 years. So you can be part of that change. You can be part of that change, you know. Okay, everybody. 19 people on, so hopefully maybe 1 or 2 might go and apply. If you need to get in touch with me, Noel at ayurveda.ie. If you need to get in touch with Ailish, get in touch with me and I'll pass it on to Ailish if there's anything you want to ask us, you know. So thank you very much for coming on. Jai Guru Dev, Ailish, thank you very much for coming on to see us this evening.
No problem.
And we'll be in touch with everybody very soon. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.